Fix the Kilt. And this is Susan Petrofsky. She's another one of our Quilts of Valor volunteers. So what we'd like to do tonight is just kind of three parts. We'd like to tell you a little bit about the Quilts of Valor and what it means to us and our veterans. Then we will award the quilts tonight, and we'll call you up individually after we talk about you a little bit, and not much, just a little bit. And then we'll award you your quilt, and then we'll ask you if you'd like to say a few words. Very few words, because I know some of you guys, if you get the opportunity to say a few words, we can't shut you up, so. Frank. Oh, is that Frank? Oh, Frank, we're gonna have to get the hook on him. All right, so, just a little background.
Hard to talk.
We represent what's called wartime quilting. So since the Civil War to present, we have had wars, and we have some, and we have had quilting, and they have waxed and waned over the time. The support for veterans, the support for quilting, the support for war. But starting with the Civil War, many of our young men went off to war with a quilt from home. And unfortunately, many came home and were buried in the very same quilts. Today, we award quilts to service members and veterans who have been touched by war. The experience of making a quilt for a veteran impacts both us and those who are awarded the quilt. It's a very painstaking and memorable experience for us and for you. So how did we get started? Well, we started in 2003. Our founder is Catherine Roberts, and she was a mom whose son was over in, he was in Iraq. He was an Army gunner, and she thought every service member was a soldier. And luckily, we had a Marine who corrected her that not everybody who was served in the military was a soldier. And she was a Blue Star mom, of course, worried about her son overseas. And she had this dream, and I want to read a quote from her as to how she established our foundation. And I quote, "The dream was as vivid as real life. I saw a young man sitting on the side of his bed in the middle of the night, hunched over. The permeating feeling was one of despair. I could see his war demons clustered around him, dragging him down into an emotional gutter. Then, as if viewing a movie, I saw him in the next scene, wrapped in a quilt. His whole demeanor had changed from one of despair to one of hope and well-being. The quilt had made this dramatic change, and the message of my dream was quilts equal healing." End quote. So our mission is to cover service members and veterans touched by war with comforting and healing quilts of valor. These are a lifetime award. We want to honor you for your service, knowing that you left all you held dear to serve our nation. We want to thank you for your sacrifices, and for those of your family, we know that we do not serve alone. We want to comfort you on the days that you need the warmth of a hug. And if you don't have one, you have a quilt, and that quilt is your hug from us. And we want to say welcome home, especially to those, especially my fellow Vietnam veterans, who have never heard the words, welcome home. We have awarded quilts in all 50 states, overseas, any place you can imagine. Meetings like this, churches, homes. I even awarded a quilt in the parking lot of the Walter Reed Military Medical Center, wherever our veterans are and wherever there is a need. It's not a charity quilt. These are heirloom quilts. We expect you to use them. And I always say, if you wear it out, I will make you a new one. That's what we want you to do. We want you to use it, put it on your bed, put it on your favorite chair. So let me tell you what a quilt is, because it's not a blanket. Don't ever call your quilt a blanket. A blanket is one layer. A comforter is completely different. But a quilt has three main layers. And its top, and you will see, has many different colors, different pieces, and they represent all the individuals in this country that are here to support you. The batting, the filler, is what provides the warmth. And this is what you will feel the warmth when you put this around you. And the backing is the strength that holds all the pieces together. And it's the strength of our community, of our country, and our support for our veterans. And each stitch that holds all three of those layers together represents the love and gratitude that we have for you, our veterans. We believe that as we sew, the love from our heart flows through our hands right into these very beautiful quilts. That's when you wrap them around you, you will feel the hug of the maker and the nation. We say that every quilt has a story, and the story of these quilts started with the quilter. And on the quilt, there's a label, and it will tell you who the story started with, the quilt maker and all the people that were involved. But the story doesn't end there, because your name is on this quilt, and it goes with you and your family, and it goes on wherever you let it go. So just a few facts for the fact-minded people here. As of today, we have awarded to our service members and veterans 298,684 quilts to our veterans. But the numbers aren't important, because today we are awarding quilts to 4 very special veterans. One of them is an Army guy. The other 3, we outnumber you. We are the Navy people. So, sorry. Oh, we got a Marine here. So let me tell you what that means. So in Army terms, picture 62,148 M1A2 Abram tanks lined up. That's how many quilts we have made for the Army. And in Navy terms, that's 1,823 Nimitz-class aircraft carriers sailing on the high seas lined up. Just to give you a picture of the extent of our reach to our veterans to honor and comfort them. So, with no further ado, and stop talking, Mary Ann, we're going to award quilts. So, if I could have Engineman Dan Hoff, United States Navy, front and center here. Okay, you can just stand right there and face this one way. So, Dan, according to his bio, which was very brief, so I have to embellish it, served from 1974 to 1979 aboard the aircraft carrier USS John Kennedy, CV-67. Now, Kennedy was decommissioned in 2007, and it was sitting at the Philly shipyard. But now, Big John is supposedly going to be turned into a museum. And I understand. Well, I've heard that too. So I've consulted the all-knowing Wikipedia, and they said, but if you know anything about an engineman, they have a pretty tough job. This rating was established in 1917, so he's an old guy. And then they took several ratings and put them together to make the engine man, who literally keeps the ship moving, and then some. You name it, these guys do it. Am I correct? You got it. So I'll dispense with all the details of your job. But what I'd like to do is, we'll have you, could you guys come forward here so you're not back in the corner? Wow. You stand in front of your quilt there, sir.
That's your color, man.
Read this certificate to you. Engineman Don Half, United States Navy, on behalf of the Quilts of Valor Foundation, in recognition of your service and sacrifice for this nation, it is an honor to be privileged to give honor and comfort upon you to the award of this Quilts of Valor. Though we may never know the extent of your sacrifice to protect and defend of the United States, we, as a gesture of a grateful nation, award you your Quilts of Valor.
Oh, yeah.
We give you all.
I can't.
And then I give you some. Dan, look this way. Look this way.
Would you like to say something to your fellow?
This has been a little while coming. Richard and I don't know, Richard, were you supposed to get in to work in Kennery?
Yeah.
And we just didn't, I forgot about it, we just didn't make it. That was like 2 or 3 years ago. And it passed, and Richard somehow got in touch with me. And I was glad that he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm proud to be the owner of this, and very proud of it. Thank you. I'll be warm tonight.
And you also second class, Frank Gillenardo, United States Navy.
He's a French guy, France.
Did I say that?
Gillenardo is great.
Gillenardo?
They call me
Frank
Frankie G.
Oh, Frankie G. Okay.
Frankie G.
So Frankie G served from 1970 to 1978, and he collected, analyzed, and reported enemy communications and tracked enemy aircraft. So this guy, I can't tell you, I looked up every single ship that he has been associated with. Now, I used to know, James ships, long time ago, don't know them anymore. And it would be easier to list the ones he was not than the ones he was.
Only 9 of them. Come
No,
on.
there was more than 9 on my list. But what I thought was really interesting is when he was down in Rhoda, on the Black Sea cruise, on the Kennedy.
No, that was on the Black Sea 2 was on the USS First.
Oh, sorry, I read that wrong. You're absolutely right.
DD-882.
DD-882.
World War II destroyer.
And then you were in the San Miguel, Philippines, and I had to look up what Yankee Station meant and what Perez Station meant.
Yeah, Yankee Station was 100 miles off of Vietnam, and Perez Station was about 30 miles off of North Vietnam.
So, he kept track of all of that stuff for us.
We actually had a saying, I was a cryptologic technician, we had a saying, in God we trust, all others we monitor.
Okay, that's a good saying. All right, let me have them open up your quilt and have you stand in front of it. It'll come to you.
I'm gonna get a hug first.
Beautiful. Coming up for second class, Frank Gillenardo, United States Navy. On behalf of the Quilts of Valor Foundation, in recognition of his service and sacrifice for this nation, it is a privilege to serve honor and company of to be awarded this Quilts of Valor. Though we may never know the depth of your sacrifice to protect and defend the United States of America, as a gesture of a grateful nation, we award you your Quilts of Valor.
Thank you so much. Oh, you didn't get a hug too?
Hold on, Frank.
You get rid of that beard, you look like an Indian.
It'll be one
Now, we're not
drink,
gonna let him
Frank.
say a few words, right?
I said a few.
Oh, he said it. Okay, aviation machinist mate, petty officer second class, Richard Smith, United States Navy.
I couldn't make it next year, we thought about it.
So Richard served from 1961 to 1965.
You're old.
as aviation.
Knew someone would say that.
Specializing in jet engine mechanics, and maintained everything that was flying above, and supposedly, according to your job description that I looked up, it said something about turboprops. Were you even involved with turboprops?
Just in school, that's all.
Yeah, there we go. I thought,
But
wait a minute.
strictly jet engines.
Yeah, okay. So You can blame Richard for all this happening. He has been my point of contact for the past, I don't know, we've been going at this for a little while.
Quite a while.
Trying to connect the dots, so he's the one to thank for making this happen, and I really appreciate, what you've done to make this happen. So, just one quick word about this quilt. It has fabric in it from our founder, Catherine Roberts. She was divesting of some of her fabric stash, and she sent it to me. And I thought it was appropriate to put in this quilt for Richard. So we have some really special things. And she's quite a character, so as you can imagine. Aviation machinist mate, petty officer, second class, Richard Smith, United States Navy. On behalf of the Quilts of Valor Foundation, in recognition of her service and sacrifice for our nation, it is a privilege to serve honor and comfort upon you through the award of this Quilts of Valor. Though we may never know the depth of your sacrifice for protecting the fans of the United States of America. I'm sorry. Sometimes these are harder for me than they are. As a gesture of a grateful nation, we award you your Quilts of Valor.
Thank you. One thing I can say is, I was in the Navy, and they sent me to Texas, South Texas, to the desert. So being in the Navy and being in the desert for 4 years, that was interesting. But what we were doing was training pilots to learn how to fly jet aircraft. We was in the first squadron to do that. And then from our squadron, they graduated on further. And I can't say I got to land on an aircraft carrier and take off in an airplane, so.
Airplanes back then?
But the road
Big rubber bands. Congratulations, Betty. Congratulations, buddy.
So we put the Army last. We know they come first in order of precedence, but there was only one. So Staff Sergeant Jonathan Henry, front and center, please, sir. So Jonathan served from 1986 to 1995. He completed basic training at that lovely place, Fort Benning, Georgia, and was one of 3 honor grads as Charlie 2 Range Top Gun. He was assigned to the 319th Infantry, the 317th Infantry, and the 317th Training Battalion. 317th. 317th?
Yeah, I was after I was a drill sergeant.
Right. Okay, you completed drill sergeant training at another lovely place, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And then went back to Fort Benning because he loved it so much as a drill sergeant. He deployed to Panama for Operation Nimrod Dancer, which you can explain about, in May 1989. He's been awarded 4 Army Achievement Medals, Army Commendation, 3 Good Conduct Medals, among many others. There's one thing I do want to say about this young man. He continues to serve veterans in the Orders for Love program. And so after we award your book, we have another little special item for you. Does everybody know about the Orders for Love? So I'll just, you can add, and I'll just read what I pulled off the website. It's a program designed to enhance the lives of our nation's bravest men and women, including those suffering from PTSD, TBI, or anxiety, with the help of a shelter dog looking for its fur ever end. Veterans have given so much of themselves and often come back and find that the war has followed them and is disrupting their lives. Sometimes what they need more than anything else is a loyal companion that can be there with them through the journey of life after serving in a combat zone, entering into what we call the no judge, unconditional love zone. And the program's open to any veteran from any service that feels they would benefit from a canine therapy, canine companion, or a service therapy dog. And Jonathan has been involved with this organization for many, many years, so we have a little something special to do for that. So. And this is your quilt. You can't see it because you're standing in front of it, but that's okay. You can let you see it afterwards. Staff Sergeant Jonathan Hendrick, United States Army, on behalf of the Quilts of Valor Foundation, in recognition of your sacrifice and service to the nation, it is a privilege to serve honor and comfort upon you as the award of this Quilt of Valor. Though we may never know the depth of your sacrifice to protecting the family of the United States of America, as a gesture of grateful amazement, we award you your Quilt of Valor.
You appreciate people who help other people, no matter what the cause. Everybody needs help at some time, and y'all are amazing. Orders for load, my dog is all the dogs come from rescues. They are all rescued, so they save the dogs to help the vet. And it doesn't matter if it's a pet or a therapy girl or a service animal. And these girls, they have extensive training. It's unbelievable. So I just appreciate you all. For some reason, it seems like I've seen y'all before. I do a lot of veteran benefits with my bike. I don't know if I gave you a thing with a picture of my bike or not.
You did?
I did.
You did. That's how I found out about you.
Okay. So basically, they say that a drill sergeant is the most stressful job. That's what the VA says. It's the most stressful job you could have in the military, which I don't know, because when you're an 11 Bob, or otherwise known as a grunt, you're the idiot on the ground with a rifle, wondering where the hell you are, if you're going to make it back, when you're going to eat. Operation Nimrod Dancer, I don't know where they come up with these names, except I know Cole and Val came up with the name Just Cause, because there was so many missions to Panama. Nimrod Dancer was the last mission before Just Cause. And he came up with that name because he said Congress is never going to approve another mission to Panama. So we have to name it Just Cause, so they can't vote down a Just Cause. Nimrod Dancer was the last one, which was a mission of intimidation, trying to get Manuel Noriega to give up without force, which obviously did not work. But anyway, I just appreciate you all my fellow veterans, men and women. My sons said that they didn't like have the respect for other people that they did for that, because I was an infantryman and a drill sergeant. And my thing was, boys, we don't make it home without everybody. And one of the mottos on the back of my bike is that everyone is important. I don't even care, back here at home, the guy at the grocery store is putting food on my table, the construction guy has a roof over my head keeping me dry, people making quilts are keeping me warm at night. But I love you guys, I just appreciate you. I'm not the best at talking to them, too emotional.
So for your orders of love and family, we have
Wow, that is awesome. He is going to love it.
So there you go.
Thank you all so much.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So that concludes our part of the evening. We will pass out, we are a full service, organization,
Thank you, sir.
and we make sure you know how to take care